Welcome back, YouTube, to May's Book Review. This is your host, Jason Productions, also known as the #1 source of family-friendly content on YouTube. But, without further ado, let's get started. This month, I read a total of four books, almost 5, and it's been pretty disappointing as compared to the previous months, and I'll explain why. So, first half of the month, I was finishing up school, doing a bunch of schoolwork that I should have done earlier, but I didn't. I know, pretty edgy. But anyways, I didn't do that, so I had to do finals and all that fun stuff. So that took up some time, and I read a book that was very difficult to read, but it was okay. But we'll get into it. So the first book I read this month was called Blue Ocean Strategy, and I'll show it right here, right there. The reason I may not particularly have this physical copy of the book might be because I read it online. Might have been published somewhere. I might have just read it online. Maybe I didn't pay for it. Maybe I did. Who knows? I don't know. Anyways, this book was about competition, and there are blue oceans and there are red oceans. Red oceans are markets that are extremely competitive, where everyone's getting into like price wars, trying to get the lowest price, which doesn't leave companies much room for profit. So what you want is a blue ocean, and the book Blue Ocean Strategy talks a lot about how to identify blue oceans, create them, and one of the examples it lists in the book is Cirque du Soleil, which kind of took the best parts of circus and best parts of theater and kind of combined them into a new market. Like at the time, they didn't really know what to call Cirque du Soleil, and I'm not sure we even know now what to call it. What genre to call it. It's just Cirque du Soleil. So like Cirque du Soleil took the good things of the circus, which is like I said, the tent was one of the big things of the circus. And then they got rid of a lot of things that were not good at the circus. Like I think I mentioned the 3-ring circus, they completely did away with because they didn't want audience members to like be looking around all the time at different things that were going on. They also got rid of animals because there was some concern on the treatment of animals at the time, and they were very expensive. They were like the most expensive part of the circus. So Cirque du Soleil got rid of some of the worst parts and kept some of the good parts, and also charged a higher price and appealed to a different sort of audience. So that was an example of a blue ocean, just creating an entirely new market. Yeah, it was very good. Although if you're not really interested in business, I don't know if I'd recommend it, but if you are interested in business, definitely read it. Very good. Second book I read is some more Ayn Rand, Philosophy, Who Needs It? So this one took me forever to read, and I'll explain why. So I have read a lot of Ayn Rand's stuff, and in this book it's like kind of a general philosophy thing. So she goes over a lot of stuff that she's already talked about, so it's very hard to read stuff that I already had read, just phrased differently. So there was some interesting parts to the book. Like I guess my favorite part, so it starts off, I believe she's speaking to some Marines or someone in the army, and it's like a speech to some new recruits about philosophy, who needs it? And the answer is essentially everyone. So that's what the title is. Who needs philosophy? Ayn Rand's answer is everyone. And I did read. There was one part that was pretty good. It was a letter to a chess player, Kasparov. there? Or was that a different book that I ran? Okay, maybe it wasn't in here. Anyways, alright, the whole book is basically everyone needs philosophy, and she hates Immanuel Kant. So she blames Immanuel Kant for a lot of the problems in Western philosophy. And here I'll quote. I left this bookmark in to quote this passage to help you guys can realize how much she hates him. The widespread fear and/or resentment of morality, the feeling that morality is an enemy, a musty realm of suffering and senseless boredom, is not the product of mystic, ascetic, or Christian codes as such, but a monument to the ugliest repository of hatred for life, man, and reason, the soul of Immanuel Kant. So, yeah, I don't know. I thought it was pretty funny, but she really hates Kant, and he probably deserves it. But anyways, that was Philosophy Who Needs It. I don't know. It was okay, but you definitely need to read other stuff that Rand has written as opposed to this. If I were to suggest any Rand, it would not be this. Okay. Moving on. Then I read Never Eat Alone. This book is about networking. And if you know anything about me, you would be wondering, why did Justin read a networking book? Isn't he like antisocial and completely against that? The answer is yes, which is why I have to read it, obviously. So the beginning of the book was okay. The author was like the youngest chief marketing officer in a Fortune 500 company. And he talks about his career, which I thought was interesting, but then his lessons he just repeats endlessly throughout the book. Like, I felt like this book could have been half the size that it was, because he just repeats the same stuff over and over and over again. So basically, the basic lessons of the book are networks are important. You don't, and they take time to work on. You got to constantly be working on your network, and there are like certain people that you want to talk to that he calls super connectors that can connect you to anyone. And there are certain industries where you can find them, and then you just follow. You have to be incredibly perseverant, and continually follow up on the people that you want to talk to. So he gives lots of examples in the book. It's very thorough, but I think it was longer than it had to be. And yeah, probably should not have. I mean, like, it was a learning experience, but didn't really get me very interested in networking. So that was Never Eat Alone. Yeah, I don't know. Probably wouldn't recommend it unless you're very interested in like social media and all that sort of stuff. Alright, so I started reading a fourth book and I got like halfway through it, and then I went to the bookstore to get some more books, and I stopped reading that one, so that one will be next month. I'm almost finished with it. But anyways, the fourth and final book of this month is Elon Musk's biography by Ashley Vance. Yeah. So for those of you that know me as well, you probably think that I had read this book a long time ago, and I didn't. I idolized Musk for a really long time, and I hadn't read his biography. I figured it was about time. I knew most of the SpaceX story because Musk was a huge part of me wanting to do aerospace. Which for those of you that don't know me, I'm a failure. No, I'm just kidding. I studied aerospace engineering for 2 years, and then I stopped doing that to study business instead. But anyways, yeah, I knew most of the SpaceX story, but then it went into some more detail than that, and got some more details on Musk's personal life that I didn't really know. So I used to just read up on SpaceX all the time. I'd go to the news like every single day and look up SpaceX news. Kind of worship that company pretty crazily. But anyways, it was pretty good. I still like Elon Musk. There seems to be a dark side to Elon Musk, but that's okay. I respect him for his accomplishments. So it talks about where he grew up. He's from South Africa. Then it kind of moves on into the Tesla, or not Tesla. Then it moves on to the SpaceX era, and then it moves on to the Tesla era, and then it kind of talks about Solar City for a little bit, while intermingling personal life details in between there. But yeah, I really didn't know that much about Tesla, as the book stated. Like, I thought Elon just founded Tesla, and wow. He's a co-founder. Yeah. So, I mean, if you read the book, you'll understand that reference. Basically, there's a huge controversy as to whether Elon was a real founder or not of Tesla, because he did provide a lot of the money, but there's question as to whether he was an actual founder. And one of the actual founders was like, no, he's not. But then they eventually got into a court case, and now that founder says he was a co-founder and is not allowed to talk about it anymore. But anyways, yeah, that was Elon Musk's biography. I would recommend it, pretty much anyone interested in technology, because this guy's doing amazing stuff, and hopefully he will continue to do amazing stuff. So, that concludes the May book reviews. I read 4, which brings the count to 38. Yeah, 38 books so far. I have 7 months more to go, and I'll definitely be picking up the pace in the next month, because I won't have anything to do. So, yeah, I've got some interesting stuff lined up. I'm going to read some more economics books. Right now I'm reading a biography of John D. Rockefeller, which is pretty good so far. But yeah, you guys will hear about that in the next month. And thanks for tuning in, all you loyal... Camera, don't do this. No. Okay. All of my loyal supporters. This one's for you guys. Alright, thank you for watching. And maybe I'll upload something else this month. Or, I'm uploading this at the end of the month, but maybe I'll upload something more than a book review next month. Oh. Alright, see you guys.